What's good, artists? It's Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com here with another Artist Marketing 911. Artists, today we're going to talk about how to respond to negative feedback. Now, I think there's a few questions you should ask yourself before you actually respond to negative feedback. It's bound to come. Anytime that you do anything that gains traction or anything that draws a lot of attention, it's going to draw a lot of positive attention. It's going to draw a lot of negative attention. But I know sometimes artists, just like any other human beings, have an issue dealing with negative feedback because of the way it makes us feel. Our process is very personal to us. Our art is very personal to us. And to write a song and to record a song and go through all the process and really get ready for the preparation of it, to be excited about putting it out and to finally get it to the audience and have those nerves of butterflies or whatever the case may be, we want to have it received with love. We know everybody's not going to like it, but at the same time, sometimes we just don't want to hear certain things. However, anytime you plan to do something super successful in this lifetime, you're going to have naysayers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break down some ways that I approach negative feedback, and then I'm going to break down Grant Cardone's genius breakdown of how to respond to naysayers and just to have the proper perspective. I personally, whenever I receive negative feedback, first thing I do is I weigh the importance of the negative feedback. I look at who's saying it. I look at things like, do they even have a profile image? Is this somebody that's trolling? Is this somebody who wants my attention? Is it somebody that probably doesn't get attention on a regular basis and the internet is the only way they get attention? You just kind of weigh that by what they're saying. You weigh that by whether it's constructive criticism or whether it's something that's meant to hurt your feelings. The next thing I will weigh is whether or not that particular negative feedback is hurting your brand's reputation. If it's feedback that is really coming from a real place and you really see it as a problem and other people are agreeing with that being a problem and other people are saying it, you want to look at that in a different light of importance. Maybe it's not somebody that's being a hater. Maybe it's a customer or somebody who enjoys your product just telling you the truth about what it is. And if that's the case, do not respond to them in an angry way. Do not come at them. Do not make an example of them. Address them. Even better than making a spectacle of a negative comment and responding right there while you see it, I think a better approach is to respond to it in a public forum. Tell them, I understand your concerns. I take them very seriously, and I would actually like to help you. Could you send me your email or direct message me, and I would like to address those issues head on. The benefit of doing it this way is that whatever their particular grievances are, they're not for the general audience anymore. They are specifically for that person who has their grievance. Another benefit is it looks very professional on your end to respond to negative feedback or to respond to something that actually could help the business overall. It shows that you respect your audience and it shows that you're mature enough to take this negative feedback and flip it into a positive situation. And then my last thing, is it multiple people saying it? If multiple people are saying it, it doesn't always necessarily mean that it's true, but at least it means that there's enough evidence for you to address that particular situation. You want to make sure that you address it in a very professional way. You don't want to get crazy with them. You don't want to sit there and say that everybody hates you. That's not the case. Many people want to see you win. And then some people want to see you win on their own terms. Other people want to see you win for the sake of winning. No matter what it is, I personally take compliments and negativity. I take it all with a grain of salt. Now let's get to Grant Cardone. One of my favorite quotes by this man, 1 week they hate me, 1 week they like me, both weeks I got paid. Grant Cardone breaks down 5 steps in approaching pretty much your philosophy and approaching what exactly you do when you're getting naysayers and haters approaching your way. Number 1, Grant Cardone says naysayers are quitters. We all know there's people out here who have tried to do the same things that you're doing, and they didn't succeed. And when people don't succeed and you see other people succeeding at what they hope to succeed at, bitterness kicks in. When bitterness kicks in, then you get the negative Nancy's. You get the folks that jump out of nowhere, the Debbie Downers, and have a reason to just down everything that you're doing. Naysayers are quitters. Don't respond to quitters. Let them be in their own zone or delete the comment. That's what I do, out of sight, out of mind. We can go about our business. We're talking about strengthening up the tribe. We're not talking about convincing everybody that you're right. It's not worth your time. The second thing Grant says, naysayers and critics are spectators. They're merely watching you out there on the game. They're looking at you from the stands and they're like, man, his jumper's kind of off today. Oh man, his free throw shooting sucks. Oh man, why doesn't he practice that in practice? What's wrong with him? Why he can't do better than that? I could do better than that. No, they cannot. They are sitting on the sideline watching you play. You're in the game playing. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop the game. You don't ever see LeBron stop mid-jumper and look to somebody and say, hey, I don't really like the things that you're saying about my jumper, and I think that you should stop. It's not worth his time. That man puts massive amounts of action in what he does. That's something else that Grant Cardone preaches. Massive amounts of action. It gets you out of your own feelings, and it pulls you away due to your lack of time from people who are on the sideline just spectating, having something to say. They're critics. They're folks that couldn't do what you're doing. And all they can do is sit there and give you their opinion about it. Something that anybody in this world can do. But what you're doing is not something everybody can do. There are shy people who can only get brave when they jump on the internet. You're in the game. They are a spectator. Play your role. The third thing Grant says, never get emotional. Never sit there on your public forum where everybody else is seeing you. Never spaz out and jump out on a fan. I see many artists do that, and that's the most unprofessional thing you can do. And I understand we're all human. I had times where I had to flip out on somebody because it got just a little bit too disrespectful for my liking. This was in the past. In the present now, it's not even worth it. I don't even respond to it. What you have to understand is that you're taking a route that majority of people in your life will never understand. All they can do is either be entertained or be surprised or love what you're doing. They can never understand what it takes to be an artist. They can never understand what it takes. Maybe they tried. Maybe it didn't work out for them. They will never understand what it takes to do the things that you do. Don't get emotional like them. Their passion is in a different place. Their anger is in a different place. Their anger is centered in stopping you. Don't let them stop you. You got things to do. Massive action. Number 4 thing that Grant Cardone says, don't fear the hater, fear the people that are listening to him. So if you got friends and family and people that are supposed to be supporting you, listening to this naysayer, you may not want to look at the naysayer. You may want to thank the naysayer for exposing the folks in your particular circle who are actually believing in the hype. They're believing in this hate. They're believing in this discontent. They're believing all of this stuff. That's when you want to start looking at your circle and saying, you know what? You are counterproductive to what the goal is. Because people who are productive to the goal, they'll tell you the real, but at the same time, they know that you got to put massive amounts of action. You got to push forward. Keep pushing forward. Those who can't swim with you, they're going to have to drown, or they're going to have to go on their own. You can't save everybody. You got to keep pushing forward. And the last thing Grant says, never waste a hater. Use them as fuel, biodegradable fuel. They're coming at you with that garbage. Find a way to turn that garbage into fuel. It's scientifically proven that some folks can use garbage as fuel. Use that garbage that they give you as fuel. Folks want to say your music is too much of this or too much of that, or you're doing too much of this. Go even harder. Keep going. And don't worry about it. All that work that you're putting in is your foot in their throat. Keep going. Some things are worth responding to. Some things are not worth responding to. Either way, you got a job to do. This has been another Artist Marketing 911. Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com. What's good, everybody? I wanted to take a little second to give you a heads up about a contest brought to you by CurtisKingBeats.com and our sponsor, Grindhouse.com. Basically, you'll get an opportunity to win $250. You will have an opportunity to be featured on one of my EPs. You will receive a 30-minute consultation free of charge, and you will also win additional merchandise brought to you by Grindhouse.com and CurtisKingBeats.com. The winner will be featured on their app as well. So many opportunities to win, artists. Make sure you visit contest.grind-house.com and find out more information. What's good, artists? It's Curtis King, and I basically wanted to take this end portion to bring to your attention a new service that I'm providing. I just launched this week one-on-one artist and producer marketing and consultation. So basically, I'll sit with you one-on-one and answer all of your questions. Any questions that you have for me as an artist or producer, I can basically sit with you and we can formulate a plan together. I want to see you reach all of your goals, and I want to make sure that I offer you as much of my 12-year plus experience as I can to help you down your road. If you have any questions, visit CurtisKing.com, not Curtis King Beats. Visit CurtisKing.com and book a session now. Nobody understands an artist like an artist, and nobody understands a producer like a producer.